one of the second thing I want us to kind of really focus in there is really talk about the process mapping framework, right? So thinking about visualizing the gaps, overlaps, and bottlenecks. So a lot of time I talk to business owners, and here's what I often hear. We are ready to scale, and we identified we are missing a PLM system, and we are now implementing a PLM system. The next question I ask, do you have your end-to-end process mapped out and optimized before you're introducing and implementing a system? 95% of the time, the answer is no. And some of the times I do get an answer, yes, we do have it. We are having our teams right now, create SOPs for everything that they do. One thing that we're realizing, process mapping is very different from creating SOPs. SOPs typically come in after you develop a process map and optimize your process so that now you can capture your standard operating procedures based on what your optimal process is. And only then you are now ready to implement the system, because the system has to sit on top of your optimized process. If you are bringing in the system and start implementing while your process is not even defined, then you are missing out on opportunities for that system to solve some of your bottlenecks and help you to automate, and clearly seeing which areas it will need to really kick in to automate certain steps and make it more efficient. But it also often leads to failure of implementation, because that adds on a really big chunk of time and effort on your team to implement a system. But if they're implementing the system on already inefficient process, they're not seeing the reason why we need another big thing for us to be able to learn, and it's going to make our job and life harder, right? So one of the great ways of doing this is when you get those teams involved, you get to the end-to-end processes, you get them to optimize it, and now they get to see all these inefficiencies that now you are able to solve with the system that allows you to automate. And then it's like a light bulb turns on. Everybody now jumps on board, because everybody wants to be efficient. Everybody wants to eliminate all these gazillions of emails back and forth, right? And have a potentially dashboard that will give them everything they need to know, or potentially have a vendor portal where they can communicate with their vendors instead of in tracking every step of the way of your product development or production, instead of doing a lot of this manual work back and forth.